Did you ever wonder what would happen if ordinary people just like you decided to work together to make their community better? Well, where I live, we don't have to wonder, we just have to talk to our friends and neighbors, because in and around Topeka, we live united.
The United Way of Greater Topeka recognizes that the problems in our community exceed the capacity of any single charitable agency. Therefore, United Way worked with volunteers to identify the root problems that need to change to help our community get better. Things like education, health, and financial stability, the building blocks of a good life.
Reinvesting in the community, and that's what United Way is to me, is that it's a vehicle for you to put your money into a program that is going to impact the social determinants of health, that will improve people's lives, make them more productive, and certainly that's what we're looking at as a community, is how we can make everybody reach their potential.
2 years ago, I got a postcard in the mail with the single word hope on the front of it. It was that postcard that set my life in a completely different direction. It was at a time in my life when I really felt hopeless. I was 375 pounds. I was a single mom with 2 children, barely making it paycheck to paycheck. And I really needed help, but felt ashamed and embarrassed and didn't know who to turn to. I was given some tools and assignments to learn about getting my finances in order. In that process, one of the major things that they had me do was look at my expenses and my budget to see where my money was going. When I really sat down and looked at my finances and how much money was going out, I really took my life in a different direction. I started setting a very strict budget for myself for anything and everything that I could cut back, and realized that it wasn't just about getting my finances in order, it was also about getting my health in order. The United Way had many programs that offered free workout classes, free information on nutrition, free resources for me to find to help me along this path to ultimate fitness in my life. Once I got my finances in order and my health in order, I found myself 2 years later, 175 pounds lighter, a better job, and we have money in savings. There's not enough words that I could find to thank the United Way for the changes that they made in my life, but also for the tools that I'm giving my children to carry this on in their life.
Story about Tracy and her life and how it was impacted by becoming healthier, more financially stable, I think is indicative of many people in our community. There's a lot of folks that have had trouble with finding the way, either financially or from a health standpoint. But when you bring those two things together and you make yourself healthier, you make yourself more productive, you feel better about yourself, and normally then you can get your financials straightened out and improve your job situation, improve your financial situation, and life's just going to be better. The United Way is so important to this community.
A group of people sat around with the United Way and the Topeka Housing Authority, and what started off as just a simple conversation turned into something that is really remarkable and amazing. Pine Ridge was an area where you didn't want to be at in the dark, and even the police officers would not show up and respond to Pine Ridge without having some backup there to assist them as well, because of the way the neighborhood was. The United Way's focus in this community of Pine Ridge is sustainable positive change, and it is happening. We now know that 80% of our kids are ready to move on into kindergarten, way more advanced than it would have been had those programs not been available in that community. Initially, the focus of United Way coming in was to focus on the kids' education. Early childhood education. We know that when kids learn how to read at an earlier age, they are more successful in school. But that's not the only thing that took place. There's a gentleman who would always bring their child in, and then he would be the last one to pick them up at the end of the day. Those teachers over at Pine Ridge Prep recognized that. They realized that he was illiterate. This guy could not read or write. So these teachers at Pine Ridge Prep went above and beyond, and they taught this man to be able to read and to write, and the joy in his face when he was able to sign his child out every single day was unbelievable. Delivery drivers for like pizza would never even come and deliver pizza to Pine Ridge. They do that now. We now have kids in the neighborhood and outside surrounding neighborhoods that are coming through and trick-or-treating. We have a computer program over there where parents are going over and they're getting online on the computer and they're doing resumes and working on their GEDs and being successful and getting high school diplomas, and the list goes on and on and on and on. We are now able to branch out into 2 more of our communities, which is Deer Creek and Echo Ridge, to do the exact same thing that we have been doing at Pine Ridge. All of that is because of the United Way. Who would not want to be a part of that?
Community leaders like myself are proud to be a part of what the United Way does. United Way is helping people in the community by getting them involved in programs that make a difference in their lives, not just today, but for the future. Join us to help create positive, sustainable change in the Topeka community. Give, advocate, and volunteer. Without your investment, we can't sustain positive change.